Nowadays, many women are alone and wondering, why don't men approach anymore? Is there something wrong with me? And the worst part, they don't even ask for dates anymore.
If you're single right now, are you even dating? Because I swear out of all of my single friends, nothing. There's no talking stages, no going on dates. If somebody goes on a date, it's like a really big deal. Or like, do you think he's the one? And I thought that this was just us. And then the more single people I meet, it sounds like we're all just kind of in hiding in our homes.
I made a video last night about going out in public to try to find my future husband in the wild instead of on a dating app. And a lot of the comments that I'm getting are saying that men don't approach in public because they assume that a woman is in a relationship and they'll get rejected. And some comments saying that like they wouldn't look at me and think that I was single, to think that I would be even someone that they could approach and try to, talk to or whatever. So my question is, how does one look single in public? How would I present myself in a way that would lead others to feel like I was available for them to approach me if that was something that they wanted to do? This is an actual question because I don't know how one looks single. Other than like I walk around with I don't have it. Don't look at my nails. They look ugly right now. If I walk around, like, obviously I don't have a ring on my hand, but that doesn't mean I don't have a boyfriend. So how do I look single? Should I just carry around a sign that says, hey, I'm single and available. If you love Jesus, come up and talk to me. Let's have a chat. What do I do?
In the past, it was men who made the first move, not because it was easy, but because it was expected. Today, that role has become a mess. Many grew up being told not to invade women's space, not to assume she wants to talk, that they need to be extremely careful. And yes, there's a real fear of being misunderstood. Today, a man approaching a woman at a cafe or on the street might be seen as brave or invasive. It depends on the mood of the moment. That's why many prefer to stay silent rather than risk embarrassment or accusations. For years, women were told they had to be independent, strong, that they didn't need a man for anything, which to some extent is healthy. But in practice, especially in dating, it led to this result. Men started feeling like they weren't welcome. Not because every woman said so directly, but because the overall attitude gave off a kind of hostile self-sufficiency. In other words, if she doesn't need me, why should I take the risk? Back in the day, a woman who wanted to be approached would give looks, subtle smiles, discreet signals. It was a game of cues, refined, almost invisible, but it existed. Today, with everyone on their phones, wearing headphones head down, face saying don't talk to me, those signals are gone. The result? Men don't know if they're allowed to approach. And that's not cowardice, and it's confusion. A man with values isn't just looking for beauty. He wants femininity, respect, sweetness, and faith. If she says, if you love Jesus, come talk to me, as funny as it sounds, that's a powerful filter, and it can work better than expected. Because a man of faith will be drawn to a woman who shines her light in a firm, discreet, and elegant way.
I've never made a video like this, but I'm sure that a lot of people can relate. It is so hard sometimes watching so many of your friends fall in love and find their person and get pregnant, especially as I'm moving into my 30s. I feel like I'm watching everybody else live out their dream and wondering when my dream is going to happen for me. And a lot of the times people say things like, well, you have to have a full life. A partner's not going to give you that. And I do have a very full life. I love my life. I'm writing a memoir and I have a therapy practice and I have a really beautiful apartment in New York City and I have the best friends and I really do have this massive life, but it feels like there is something major that is missing. I know it sounds wild, but sometimes it feels like I'm missing out on life because I don't have these things yet. I thought I'd be married by now. I thought I'd have multiple kids by now. And this is not just the timeline that society has set on women. This is the timeline that I wanted for myself. I've known ever since I was 3 years old that I was born to be a mom, and I just want to experience that so bad. And sometimes I wonder and worry, and this is something that I'm working on in therapy, that like something is wrong with me, that I just don't get to have what other people have in that regard. And this is not about me needing someone to fix me or to make me happy. As humans, we are wired to want to connect with others. And sometimes it feels like I'm starving for this piece of my life. And that feeling can be so hard when you look around and you see everyone else with their plates super full, whether it's like weddings, baby shower, TikTok couples. I just cannot wait to meet my person and to have a family. And it just scares me so much. like worrying about if it will happen and when it will happen. And then I get worried even talking about this on here. Like if I'm speaking this aloud, does that mean it's not going to happen for me? And I just don't believe that that's true. And maybe that's why I'm posting this. We're allowed to have our feelings about things, and we're allowed to process things, and we're allowed to have wants and needs. And it doesn't mean that we're sending a message to the universe. It's just hard. And if anyone else out there relates, I would love to hear from you.
She has her heart in the right place. She wants something noble, to love, to build, to start a family. But she lives in a culture that for decades taught her to ignore or even feel ashamed of that desire. And that's when she starts to understand how modern feminism helped cause the loneliness of women like her and the silence of so many men. Feminism in the beginning fought for just causes, the right to vote, access to education, dignity. That was fair and necessary. But from the second wave onward, the message changed. They started saying, women don't need men. Having kids early is a waste of time. Career matters more than home. Being a mother means erasing yourself. Femininity is weakness. And worse, men started being seen as the problem, as if they were obstacles, oppressors, not partners. So women who simply wanted to love and be loved were led down a lonely path, even if that wasn't what they wanted. If for decades the message was, men are trash, we don't need you, male presence is oppressive, then why is everyone surprised that men have stopped approaching? Today, many are genuinely afraid to simply say hi on the street. They don't know if they'll be ignored with contempt, accused of harassment, ridiculed for being gentlemanly. Modern feminism didn't just empower women, it also weakened men. And when the masculine side is weakened, the dance between man and woman loses its rhythm. She says it clearly, I have a full life, but it feels like something's missing. And that's more common than people think. The modern woman achieved everything, except the one thing she truly wanted deep down: love, a home, children, continuity. And now, at 30 or 40, she looks around and sees her friends married, mothers, while she holds a glass of wine on a beautiful balcony, wondering why happiness never came, even though she did everything right. But that right wasn't hers. It was what the world pushed on her. Yes, today's woman is strong, determined, capable, but many are paying for that power with loneliness, frustration, and confusion. And it's cruel to tell a woman who wants a husband and children that she doesn't need that to be happy, because she knows she does. Not out of desperation, but because the heart was made to love. And love requires surrender, sacrifice, and reciprocity. The solution isn't to go back in time, but to recover what was thrown away. The value of motherhood, the joy of being feminine, the power of gentleness, the beauty of mutual dependence between man and woman. And for men, the role is to relearn how to lead with courage, faith, and respect, to be a real man, not a boy who runs from responsibility. This woman isn't wrong. She's alive, with a sensitive heart, a genuine desire, a longing for something she may have never even experienced, but knows she was born to live. And modern feminism, with all its talk of self-sufficiency, taught millions of women to ignore that inner calling. It made them feel wrong for wanting to love and be loved. And many men, faced with that, pulled away, not out of disinterest, but because they no longer know what their role is. Reconciliation between the two begins with truth, like she said in the video, and with men and women stopping the competition and starting to build together again.
Hi. So I'm officially 36 and I'm single against my will. So hello. I didn't think I'd be here again, but here we are. So I just want to say I really appreciate the really, really kind comments and DMs about the situation. It means a lot. I've really just been taking it an hour at a time at this point. He wished me happy birthday on my birthday. We went back and forth a couple of times. I said, I'd love, thanks for the birthday wishes. I'd love to see you when you're back, because that's the truth. Like, my feelings didn't just shut off. I'm someone who, I want to have a face-to-face conversation. That's just it. So I said, I'd love to see you when you're back. Asked if he wanted to go for a walk this weekend, which we would normally do with Harry anyway, and nothing. So I'm just, I'm just processing. It's shocking. It's very out of character for this person. I don't hate them because I think he's wonderful, and I think whatever he's going through, it makes me sad that I can't be there for him or we can't talk through it, but this is just what's in front of me. So I just have to work through the emotions. So it's been a lot of crying, a lot of writing, a lot of this sort of thing. It's very cathartic to do this. And, you know, I'm just sorry that so many people could relate to this, because it's just, you have to communicate. You have to communicate. I mean, conflict is inevitable. I mean, I'm not talking about like toxicity and abusive situations. That's not okay. But conflict is normal and healthy. And it's just sort of a function of taking two people who have two totally different upbringings and experiences and everything. You put them together, there's going to be conflict. To think that there's not is just, I don't know, delusional. And maybe that's the solution. I don't know. But conflict is inevitable. You have to be able to communicate. It's really unfortunate and disappointing that this person just refuses to do so. And I just have to take that and move forward. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to stay busy, exercise, spend time with friends, cry when I want to cry. Harry's been wonderful. He's my little angel. I'm going to New York this weekend. I'm going to the Toast live show. I'm very excited. I'm staying in my old neighborhood. It's my happy place, and I just can't wait to just walk around, eat good food, have a little bit of just change of scenery, and some solitude will be really nice. Here, I feel like I'm constantly looking over my shoulder. Like, I don't know if I'm going to run into him. So it'll be nice to just have a couple days to myself. So I'm really excited about that. But anyway, I wish I had like a better update, but I don't. And we'll just have to, you know, I'm navigating this the best I can. So yeah.
For a long time, society pushed women to put career above family, freedom above commitment, pleasure above building something real. I'm not saying a woman can't work or be free, but the order of values matters. A woman like her, mature, sincere, seeking a relationship, was taught to postpone true love for far too long. When she finally opens her heart, she no longer finds men willing to build. The result? She's alone, against her will. That man who disappeared even after her kind and mature message is a reflection of what many men have become. No courage to talk, no emotional clarity, no willingness to resolve conflict like a real man. Why? Because many grew up with no role models. Never learned the value of their word, never understood that a man doesn't run from discomfort, he faces it, solves it, takes a stand. In other words, she didn't do wrong by opening up. He did wrong by not knowing what to do with her vulnerability. We live in a time when ghosting has become normal, where many people prefer to disappear rather than tell the truth. They'd rather vanish than say, "I'm not ready," or "I don't want this anymore," or even, "I'm scared." That's not maturity, that's cowardice disguised as self-care. And this woman is absolutely right. Conflict is normal. Talking solves things. But today, most people run because giving explanations has become a burden. And this fragile ego generation doesn't want burdens, just comfort. Relationships have always been a dance, but today the choreography is lost. Women don't know how to show openness without seeming weak. Men don't know how to lead without seeming oppressive. Masculinity has been attacked. Femininity has been mocked. And what's left? Wounded people trying to find themselves in an emotional minefield. This woman needs to hear, you're not wrong for loving, for communicating, for wanting something serious. What's missing around you are men with values. Real men, and they do exist, but they're becoming rarer because the culture mocked them, and many hid or got lost. Female loneliness today is real and deep, but it's not the fault of the women who are alone. It's the fault of a system that broke men from the inside and taught women to live as if they didn't need love. But the heart doesn't lie. At the end of the day, everyone wants the same thing: to be seen, loved, and chosen. For that to happen, we'll need women who keep opening up with truth and gentleness like she did. Men who relearn how to be real men, present, strong, sensitive, and responsible. This reunion between the two is possible, but it will take courage, and it will start with people who speak from the heart like she just did.